Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial on IT.tutorials. I am Josef Bodnar. I'm continuing the series of tutorials regard to this project, school registration system. This project is done using Visual C# and Microsoft SQL Server 2019. This tutorial has the goal to make a button on these forms. I mean display student data, display fees data, and display teachers data. I'm looking for those forms. So here is show teacher data, yeah, and another one, it should be displaying or show fees data. It should be here somewhere. I think is this fees data, yeah. So what is my aim regard to this tutorial is to make a button here which after you click on it will export all the data from a data grid view to a Excel file. So I'm going to do this for all these forms: fees data, show teacher data, and display student data. So first I'm going to bring a button from another form, because it's not worth it to waste time now to make another button, to make order sets from properties for another button. As long as we have the button on another form, I'm going to use for example this form fees. So I'm going to copy this one with Ctrl+C. I'm gonna go on display student data form, right click and paste it. All right, okay. All what I have to do now is just change the text on the button, Excel export. Okay, let's make the text a bit bigger, and let's bold it. Let's bit 12. All right, let's make it bigger. All right, I'm going to leave this image because it's suggestive for a Excel export, for an export to a file. All right, so the image I think is okay on this button. All right, and what I have to change also, it is here the name used inside the code, button Excel, and here instead of new I'm gonna to use student data. All right, and now double click now first of all let's go and release Solution Explorer. In order to be able to make an export to an Excel file from a data grid view in C#, we have to add a reference to a Excel class library. Actually, this is a COM object for Excel library. So select references, right click with the mouse, click on add reference, and let's write here in the search box Microsoft Excel. Yeah, here you go. It is about this library, this object library from COM. Yeah, Microsoft Excel 16.0 object library. Select it and click on OK. And after, check if you have this Microsoft.office.interop.excel. So you should have this reference in order to be able to code for an export to Excel file. All right. So now double click on this button. I'm going to make the code first, and please follow me what I'm doing, and when I will be finished I will give you all the explanations. Alright, so let's start. Okay, so the code is done. Let's release this application. All right, click on student, click on data, and click on Excel export. So as you can see, all these records from this data grid view regard to this form display student data was exported to a Excel file. So we have here this header, yeah, which is the same as it is for this data grid view, and these are the records which are the same as we have here in data grid view, as you can see. All right, the same thing. If you want to save this after, you can do either you go here on the file, click on save as, and you just save your file somewhere in your computer, or after you want to close this, will appear this dialog window, and write the name of the file. This is about student data, yeah, and here set the location and click on the save. Here you go. Let's go in Windows Explorer documents, and here is our Excel file exported from Visual C# from data grid view. Click on student data, and here you go, yeah. All right, teacher data export, don't save, fee data export. Here you go. So let's talk about the code a bit. Don't save. So you must have this namespace here, Microsoft.Office.interop Excel, in order to be able to use all the classes, interfaces, or another stuff from this library, yeah, Interop Excel. But first of all, you have to add a reference to this Microsoft.Office.interop Excel, which is a object library from COM, yeah. So after I created this button, just I gave a double click on it, and this was taken me here inside this method with this event click. So I created this variable Excel file, and I use these two interfaces to create these objects for workbook, and this one for worksheet, yeah. And I use this try catch exception to avoid the exceptions, yeah. And here actually I made an instance for this object Excel file, which I'm going to use to create a workbook. And here I set the sheet, the first sheet where my records will be exported, yeah. Here I activated the sheet, and because I use this property, set it to true. That means when I launch this export to Excel, the Excel file will be released, will be open, yeah. And here I set a name for the sheet, data student, yeah, for the worksheet. All right, this for a loop will create a header of the Excel file, the header text from the data grid view, and this two for loop actually will record the data from data grid view. The outsider for loop will record the rows, and the inside for loop will record the columns and the cells actually. So this start with 0, is initialized with 0. So we'll start with the first row, and the cursor will go inside, and this for loop from inside we'll record all the data for the first row, for each cells of the first row, and after we'll get out, and this for loop will go for the next row, for the second, and again this for loop will make the records for the second rows, and so on. So what you have to bear in your mind, so the outsider for loop will make the records for the rows, and this one will make the records for the columns. Yeah. Alright, and I use this method autofit to feed the records into the columns properly. So let's release again this application. Let's click on student, data, Excel export. So this is the Excel file for the student data. If you want to save, you just write the name of your file and after click on save. Alright. Click on teacher, data, export file. This is the data exported to Excel file for the teacher. And this one, fee, data, export. So this is the data of fees exported to an Excel file. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching this video tutorial. See you next time. Bye bye.